I have been playing Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and The Last Demon. So I touched on this.
I assume this is your like review though. Like you can
I mean, I can give an idea. Yeah, I've put in about, I'd say like 6-7 hours. And
that's longer than I thought this game would be.
I've looked it up. this game's actually like 15 to 16 hours long. I was taken aback because when we played the demo, when I played the demo, I remember telling you like, oh yeah, your progress carries over to when the game finally launches. I've done the first chapter in a bit, and it's like you 10% through the game.
Wow!
And I was like, okay, like this took me an hour, so the game I'm gonna just so I can assume it takes 10 hours. But apparently it's actually a lot longer, and I'm absolutely loving this game. Like it's taken me completely by surprise because I mean I even remember telling you when they showed this game, I think it was one of the other Nintendo Directs, and I remember like sort of switching off playing.
It's the Game Awards actually.
Oh, was it the Game Awards?
Yeah.
I remember not rolling my eyes, but metaphorically going like, oh, like Bayonetta, but it's like an origin story, and it doesn't look anything like the Bayonetta we know, the character action-driven game with adults, Bayonetta doing her thing, kicking butts, flying a fighter jet by standing on it as only
killing
she
angels
would.
on a fighter jet.
Yeah, like it's not that. So I came into this game very hesitant, going like, I don't know what this is. But what I've since learned is that it is a very, very competent, more than competent, like I suppose action adventure game with a good mix of, so there's combat, which I'll get to, but it's a good mix of combat, puzzle solving, and just exploration, and it's presented in this beautiful like storybook or / fairy tale template of every now and then you get a cutscene and transitions, flips through pages, and this beautiful like watercolor art style splashes onto the screen, and then there's
visually this looks incredible.
I take my hats off to this team where they just went all out to be different, to set themselves apart from the Bayonetta we know. And the game itself I think is fantastic. Like it tells the story of Bayonetta as a teenager, or I don't know, she's like a very young girl / going on young teenager. And it still follows that beat of like her mom and dad. Her mom's a witch, her dad's a lumen sage, and she's trying to save her mom. And she's just trying to find her way in this world as a witch without parents. But she ends up selling. She doesn't sell. She summons a demon, and this demon takes the body of her stuffed toy. If you're watching the footage, that's what she's running around with, holding in her arms. And she calls the stuffed toy Cheshire, which you'll know is a wink, wink, nudge, nudge callback to what she calls old Luca. I think
the game,
in the whole franchise, but I don't know if it's the whole franchise.
And he really
the
hates
first
it.
Game.
Yeah.
So the gameplay is broken up between you exploring, as you're seeing now. You can call out Cheshire to be the muscle in certain scenarios, like if you need to hit down a barrier or need to fight enemies. Otherwise, he's just this cute little stuffed toy that you run around with. So I had not concerns, but I know playing the demo, I said to you, I don't know, like I'm enjoying the demo. I don't know how they pad this out over a whole campaign. Like what does progression look like? And I've since learned that, okay, there are skill trees. So Cereza has her own skill tree. Cheshire gets his own skill tree. And what's quite cool is that as you progress through the game, Cheshire unlocks different elemental attacks and forms. So as an example, I've unlocked, I don't know if it's like meant to represent grass, but a green version of him, which gives him an ability to pull not only enemies, but also like obstacles out in the world for puzzle solving, which is pretty cool. Just last night, I unlocked another form where he can stomp, which you can use to, of course, hit enemies or break through, ground that's not sturdy. And the game is pretty much broken up between that. It's exploration and combat, but it's really good. Like I can't.
And you aren't controlling Cheshire directly. You're pointing him in a direction.
I know. So I wanted to get back to that. So I know not everyone listened to our demo discussion, but you actually control Cereza with the left thumbstick and Cheshire with the right thumbstick.
Right.
So you're controlling them both simultaneously, and there are moments where you have to get your motor coordination in check, because I've had moments where I'm running off with Cheshire like off screen. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, because I'm focusing on Cereza. But yeah, it's feels a bit weird to get used to, but when you get it done, you get into this really satisfying swing of you use her with the left thumbstick and shoulder button to lock down enemies, and then you move Cheshire with the right thumbstick and you tap the right shoulder button for him to attack. And then as you progress through the story, you do unlock different things. Like I said, there's a skill tree, and as an example, you can lock down an enemy with Cereza, and if you time an attack straight after that, Cheshire does like a really powerful combo to enemies, like an AoE. Yeah, it's great. Like, I don't know what else, what other praises I can shower on this game other than it took me completely by surprise. Like, it's not the Bayonetta, it's not that character action game, but it's just so darn charming, if I could put it that way. In terms of presentation, even just the story itself, you have Cereza actually talking, but you have another, like an all-encompassing narrator who says, like, who's telling the story, like she's reading the story to you. And Cheshire doesn't have a voice. Cheshire's not like, hey, I'm Cheshire, the voice actor. It's this old lady who impersonates like this big grumbly demon, like, and then Cheshire said this, and it's very
like a story being told.
Yeah, it really is like a story being told, and they lean into that, and I think it just works. It works so well with this game. Yeah, I mean, if I know I'm diverting it, but if you're watching the footage now, there are these encounters. Well, so I suppose I didn't really touch on it, but the basic story is you, Cereza, end up in Avalon Forests, which is just a place filled with these little fairies, not as in fairies that you know and love like Tinkerbell, fairies as in Faeries, like those fairies.
Okay.
And you encounter them throughout your journey. Like you'll see, I'm actually just going to scrub through here. You get these little portals throughout the game, which you go into, and they'll either be like a puzzle room or just a combat encounter with them. And these are scattered throughout the world, and there are some main ones which you use to progress the story, but there are also completely optional ones which will give you, rewards in that you'll get a piece of a flower, which if you collect enough of them, you'll up your max health, for example, or your magic ability. Yeah. So I know I went all over this review, but there's a lot to say about this game.
It's cool though, because it's like I think from the outside, it's very easy to look at this and be like, oh, this is a very simplistic sort of take on Bayonetta in a whole new kind of genre. And to an extent, I think it is definitely a new genre of play for this franchise, but it doesn't seem like dumbed down at all. You know what I mean? It's got some really cool mechanics going for it.
Yeah, look, I think it's, I'm playing on normal difficulty, but I think it's pretty accessible. Like, I would be more than happy to recommend this to like newcomers or even just young players. Like, I can imagine kids playing this and absolutely loving the presentation. And Cheshire is this big bad demon, but he's presented as this cute lumbering stuffed toy.
He does look very cute, extremely cute, and the art style definitely helps with that.
And just
I like his little like flowing cape thing.
Yeah,
it just looks really cool.
It's like the one word I'll throw out that I've felt throughout my time with it is like and I'm sorry for whether this is a pun or not, but like it's enchanting. It's really just again, it just took me completely by surprise, because I was expecting like it's like some silly Bayonetta mini side game, whatever it is, and I'm like, oh no, there's actually this team. I don't know which team worked on it specifically. Like, I don't know if it's the Bayonetta A team or another team, if it's even the same team to begin with, but they clearly put a lot of love and effort into this game. And it shows, like, in terms of presentation and the sound design. Like when Cereza, like you saw earlier, I cast a spell to open the door, It just sounds so. It triggers this mini game where you need to like. There's this spinning like line. You need to time presses with circular icons. As it goes. Just the sound of doing that. You do it very often. It is so satisfying, like visually and just the sound. I'm like, man, these people nailed it. It's really, really good.
Nah, that's cool. That's sick. I kind of. Yeah, I definitely do want to play this
add it
at
to
some
your wish
point.
list,
It looks
man.
really good, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
really
it is a Switch exclusive.
Which means it will not ever go on sale.
I'm like,
just got to buy it.
I'm like, don't worry. Like Bayonetta 2 came to other platforms, and I'm like, no, wait, no, it didn't.
No, it didn't. No, Nintendo owns this franchise. Okay, nice. That looks really cool. I definitely want to play that quite soon because it looks like a fun time.
It's a good time. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon.